years ago because it used to be that just maybe one or two people were Is it on? Test, test. Good evening. We do not have a member of the Ministerial Alliance with us here this evening, so we will stand for a moment of silence. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the May 20th, 2024 Board of Aldermen meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Tracy Newcomer, Rachel Kilmer, Jamie Ballo Ratliff,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Here.
Sierra McMichael,
Here.
John Pope,
Here.
and Mayor Dana Webb.
Here, thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business, deletions, or continuances. We do not have any of those this evening, so we will move on to the next item. The next item is public comments. City Clerk, do we have any public comments this evening?
There are none.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. These items are designated on the consent agenda for the Board of Alderwomen by unanimous consent to designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have approval of the May 6, 2024 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes, expenditures through May 15, 2024, and the April 2024 financial statement.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any unfinished business this evening, so we will move on to new business. The first item under new business is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a water master plan by Bartlett and West for engineering services under the existing agreement. Corey, that would be you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, that's correct. The board approved entering into an agreement with Bartlett and West for consulting services in February of this year. Since then, city staff has been working closely with Bartlett and West on coming up with the scope of work to update our water master plan that was last updated in 2010. It's also a requirement by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. The purpose of a water master plan is to provide information on necessary improvements to meet short and long-term goals of the city's water distribution system. This scope of work consists of evaluating our current water infrastructure for supply and distribution recommendations, while also evaluating and making recommendations on a fee schedule to help support capital improvements. Recommended improvements to our current water system are based on various items such as fire flow data, water break history, dead-end water mains, pipe age, and undersized water mains. An updated water master plan will provide better insight on what the city can currently support before other necessary improvements will be needed, such as replacing the south water standpipe with an elevated tank or adding an additional water booster. These studies should be done every 5 years to keep up with the everyday changing conditions to ensure the city is able to keep up with the demand. City staff will be assisting Bartlett and West with gathering the necessary data to help provide an accurate study and minimize the cost. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Thank you, Corey. Does the board have any questions for Corey?
You said this was supposed to be done every 5 years? Or just is it a recommendation, or, because it hasn't been done since 2010? Is that right?
Yeah, so there's kind of two parts to it. I suppose every 5 years is a good recommendation, up to 20 years. But the 20-year mark is, I would say, mostly the capital improvement side of things, not really the analysis part, like as in, when the flows and the demand in town, as we grow, it should be done more regularly. But pipe improvements, those kinds of plans can span out to up to 20 years, so.
Well, I would make a motion that we would move forward with the Water Master Plan agreement with Bartlett and West for services under the existing agreement.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move forward with the agreement with Bartlett and West engineering services under the existing agreement. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a request by the Oak Grove School District to waive the building fees for their construction project on the 2024 bond issue. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So in the board's packet is a request from the school district superintendent, Mindy Hampton, for the Board of Alderwomen to consider waiving the building permit fees for new construction or renovation associated with their 2024 bond issue. The school district's last bond issue in 2020, they made a similar request. That time, the board approved waiving the fees, contingent that the school district hire IBTS directly for building inspections. So, ultimately, the city won't collect a building permit fee on the school district improvements, but also won't incur the expense of hiring IBTS to do the inspections. So instead, the school district will save money on the building permit fee and use that to hire IBTS directly. City staff is still involved in the project. We get IBTS inspection reports back to our building official for him to review and sign off on, and ultimately, he also accompanies IBTS on final inspections. By our, in our city code, in our building permits, fees may be waived by the Board of Aldermen for public schools, charitable entities that receive and accept appropriation money from a public governmental body. So really, it's for public schools or other governmental entities, the fees can be waived. That does not include water or sewer tap fees. So if they were to need to upsize a connection, they would still need to pay for the connect fees for water and for sewer. This would only waive the building permit fee portion. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for Matt?
This is basically, they're asking us to do exactly what we did in 2020.
Correct, yep.
Okay.
And that inspection process with the outside inspectors went well, from what I recall, correct?
Yeah, it went really well. The school district worked with us. IBTS did a good job. I mean, ultimately, from staff's perspective, it worked out. There's still some staff time involved in it, but ultimately, it was, I think, an agreement and a process that worked for both the city and the school.
Did I interrupt you, Kelly?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought I remember it working very well for both parties. I make a motion that we approve the request by Oak Grove School District to waive building fees for their 2024 bond issue with the contingency that they contract directly with IBTS for, that word is gone, inspection.
Inspection.
Yes, got it.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the request from Oak Grove School District regarding the waiving the building fees for their 2024 bond issue. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 24-133 regarding an ordinance approving the final plat of Oaks of Edgewood, Plat 14, a tract of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 31, Township 49 North, Range 29 West, in Oak Grove, Jackson County, Missouri. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this is the final plat for Oaks of Edgewood Phase 14. It contains 52 single-family lots on approximately 15 and a half acres. Planning and zoning recommended approval of the final plat on the May 7th, 2024 Plan and Zoning meeting. The civil infrastructure and construction plans for this phase have been approved. Construction is still in progress. They've substantially completed most of it, but the streets still need to go in. The final plat ultimately is consistent with the approved preliminary plat and the construction plans. The preliminary plat for phases 13 through 19 of Oaks of Edgewood was approved in July of 2020. In total, those phases are 191 homes. Phase 13, the final plat for phase 13 was approved in February of 2023 on 14 acres and included 30 homes. So this is, with this plat, that would be 82 of the 191 homes would have been final platted if approved. I would like to add on the memo, staff has reviewed the final plat and recommends approval. We have in there contingent that the sidewalks are added to the final plat. The applicant added the sidewalks prior to the plan and zoning meeting. So it was approved as part of the final plat and plan and zoning, and as well as it's on the plat tonight. So please strike that contingent because the applicant did add that per staff's review. Staff's concluded that the final plat is substantially the same as the approved preliminary plat and is compliance with our subdivision regulations and applicable design standards, and would recommend approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Does the board have any questions for Matt?
I do not.
This is an ordinance.
I move for first and second reading by title only of Bill Number 24-13.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance approving the final plat of Oaks of Edgewood, Plat 14A, tract of land located in the southeast quarter of Section 31, Township 49 North, Range 29 West, in Oak Grove, Jackson County, Missouri. An ordinance approving the final plat of Oaks of Edgewood, Plat 14, a tract of land located in the southeast corner or quarter of Section 31, Township 49 North, Range 29 West, in Oak Grove, Jackson County, Missouri.
I move for adoption of Bill Number 24-13.
Second?
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill Number 24-13 to ordinance. Any discussion? If not, City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Jamie Ballo-Ratliff,
Yes.
Kelly Netto,
Yes.
Sierra McMichael,
Yes.
Pam Pope.
Yes.
The motion is adopted, and Bill Number 24-13 becomes ordinance number 2313. No, 2113, a transpose, excuse me. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is information reports. Mr. Randall?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Chris? Thank you. Mark?
Tomorrow is the day to be weather aware. We will be under a enhanced risk, 3 on a scale of 5 of severe weather. An area in southeastern Iowa and west central Illinois will be on a 4 out of 5 or moderate risk of severe weather. That's very bad news usually. So we should be weather aware. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mark. I do like it when you're here, because that's a good sign that we're in okay shape, so.
agree.
Yeah, so I'm thankful that you're here, present with us, so thank you for the update. Chief?
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Corey?
No report, thank you.
Kim?
No report.
Scott?
Real quick, with the help of Landwork Studio, the Social Pinpoint app is up and running. So if people want to get on that app, you can go to the website or Facebook page, and that'll allow you to put comments about the parks. And that is already being successful. We've already gotten some comments coming in. This Saturday is opening day for the Aquatic Center, weather permitting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Scott. Kelly, do you have a report?
I do not.
Jamie?
No, I did not.
Sierra?
No.
Pam?
Now, I just would like to thank Mark. I know how hard you work at keeping us safe, and it was good to hear your voice last night. I knew it too. Be watching out. Thank you.
I agree, Mark. People don't realize that that's actually your voice, and so you have proven that now to the public
didn't
by your
realize that.
response. So thank you for letting them know that one night. And so, yes, public, that is Mark actually sitting there in tireless hours and him coming on all the loudspeakers. So sometimes I don't like it, Mark, because you wake me up, but thank you. I do not have a report. I am asking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.